Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus with part two of Being Insane for the Sake of Love. So, having spent my time in the military, traveled around where the military was going, and with this new thought, not knowing exactly how to achieve or what was going to be necessary to achieve what I was pursuing, but knowing that I was committed to do whatever was required to do. And so I began looking at everything that happened in my life as a learning experience to guide, inform, and shape me to be what I would have to be. And so I ended up having made the decision that I'd have to leave the military. And the reason, my main motivation for leaving the military is because Ronald Reagan was president of the United States at that time. And people who were well-to-do, up with mobility, one percenters and stuff like that, actually loved Ronald Reagan. He was all they needed. They loved him. But for those who were marginalized and those who were poor and those of other nationalities, Ronald Reagan was a dangerous threat. And it was kind of embarrassing for me to walk around with a uniform on, representative of the kind of character that was being depicted to other parts of the world. And I was wearing that suit. That wasn't me. And so I decided to let the Navy go. I just told the Navy I couldn't follow its rules any longer. I couldn't bow down to it, and I was through serving it. And I didn't want any benefits from it. Now, the reason I didn't want any benefits from the Navy is because I knew what was going to happen. What was going to happen, Eddie Marcus? Why would I be depending on the Navy for whatever benefits, the small benefits the Navy might give, or big benefits, depending upon what they meant to you? Why would I be worried about that when my whole mission that I can see was to go out here and make sure that all of us had access to that? No, I wasn't going to fall in line just so I can get what you say you promised me. I know what your promises meant. Anyway, I took another than honorable separation. To me, that was my first certificate to God. It was my first certificate to myself. It was my first certificate to my shipmates. It was my first certificate to society at large. That all of this, the new vision that I have in my heart and in my mind for this world, for humankind, this right here was great, because I don't know too many people that do this. Most folks want to say, I served honorably, so you can think they're good people. I want you to know who I am. I want to do great things. And what is great things? Loving God, being obedient to God. To me, that's what my focus is. Anyway, having come out of the Navy, I ended up finding myself back in Mississippi. And I was working in cotton fields, driving tractors, plowing fields. Yes, that's what I was doing, plowing fields. And I guess I visited a church a couple of times. I was a single man now, and I really had no desire to live as a single man. But I didn't want to find a partner that was outside God. I wanted to make sure they were with God, so I started looking for a wife in the church. So some people recognized me, and I guess they talked about me, and so there was a lady at the university, Mississippi Valley State University, sent a message to me that if I was interested in a certain kind of employment, come over and file an application. So I did that, and I ended up getting the job. It was, for me, it was going to be temporary. It was recruiting students for the university. But it was a means to have some change in your pocket. So this was the walk I had to take. I met a lady in church. Oh, she was something else. Lovely lady. She had that Bible in her hand. Blew me away. Make a long story short, my information to her was that I had a vision of this beautiful world, just like I've been articulating it to you. And my concern was not finding a niche, trying to make it in the system as it is. My whole purpose was to change it. health. But I spent a lot of time with her. I liked her. She seemed to be so right on. And but I think she saw my conversation a little bit different. She saw me as this guy who was like, well, my first wife saw me perhaps. But that wasn't me. I mean, my first wife saw me as this guy who's out here I'm mixing with any of you guys. I got whatever it takes just like you do. But now the picture that I'm giving my second wife, I'm thinking, is that I definitely got it now because I'm working for the master. And you know what I'm talking about because that's where I met you at, talking about that same master. But I think she was interpreting it sort of like my first wife. But I saw things so different. When we got together, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you some of my private stuff. She probably have a fit if she knew I was telling you. But we started off poor. Had to. You know what I was doing? I came to Minnesota washing dishes at Bethel University. I had come from wherever I had been doing in life to washing dishes at a university for $6 an hour. And I remember my first raise was a dime. I got $6 and a dime. Living just like you. Living just like the masses of the people. $6 and a dime. But it was okay. It was okay. Why? Because I was on a mission. I was on a mission to find out what it takes to wake you up. So my wife was working at minimum wage. But as time was passing, things were changing. I mean, for me, I was out there hitting those streets. I'm traveling across the country. When I got a break, I'm sharing this information and I'm doing these things. And all of a sudden, her job started progressing and she started things changing. I'm saying, well, God is looking after us. Must have put us together because we were making one minimum wage. And now the rent still paid, the car note is still paid. We can still take a trip here and there every now and then. It's all coming from what she's doing, but I'm looking at it as God is blessing us. You know, because I wasn't making any money. I had to turn that $6 thing loose. I ended up making $8. But I had to turn it loose because it was slowing me down. So my whole mission still out here, ladies and gentlemen. What am I doing? I'm doing brochures, I'm doing flyers, I'm doing CDs, I'm doing DVDs, I'm writing to outlets, I'm doing everything I possibly can. I'm traveling around trying to find places to speak. I'm speaking on street corners, I'm speaking in churches where I'm allowed to speak. I'm going to Washington, trying to connect with people there, trying to see if I can get certain things done. Going throughout Minnesota, dealing with the politics of the state and the local levels, trying to see if I can get some things going there. Oh, I mean, and everything I'm trying, ladies and gentlemen, is falling flat. Falling flat. Now, I don't see myself as an organizer, and I don't even worry about that too much because the message that I have, to me, is so fantastic that any organizer, it's like hearing a band. You hear that band, you say, wow, you want a manager? I'm thinking, you hear this message, you got to make sure this message is told. I'm thinking you would be doing the same thing with this message when you hear that it's out here available to you that you were doing for Trump. When he was walking around talking about hate and racism and bigotry and stuff like that. You love that. But anyway, this is what I was doing. And I did it year after year after year. MySpace. I ran for president, asked my wife, at least several times. I went against even Barack Obama, Bill Clinton. Y'all, you know the first black president? Bill Clinton. I ran against that joker. Ran for United States Senator. Why do I keep running for these offices? Because I got this platform that I'm speaking about. I'm sharing this message, this glorious message about God's love for you and what God has prepared for you and how you've been deceived and how you're missing it. But nobody's interested in that. And time is passing. Now I got kids. My kids are growing up. My wife is footing the bill of everything. Mostly every female would have ever said it to her. Woman, you got to be crazy. Get rid of that man. Yeah, you know, that's what they would have said. Get rid of that man. And I knew they would have said it. So I thanked God for what he had put together. One thing I was missing though, and that was the voice that says, come on, let's go out here. We can do this today. Let's discuss this, she and I. You know what you need, that partner, that the one that she was looking for. If I was making money with the system, you know, maybe when something needs fixing in the house, it would get done. If the car needed some work done, it could get done quicker. All those kinds of things. What I'm looking at, if I'm out here in these streets trying to alert the society about this darkness, and you can see it with me, and two of us working together, we could do more than me alone. But that just wasn't mixing. However, we stayed together this long. And everything that I still tried to do when it comes down to you has failed. Only thing I have learned is that you are hard to reach. I haven't reached you at all. So this thing about when I used to be in the pulpit, you come to, let me stop here. I'm going to put the rest on part 3. I forgot. Time is passing. I know you probably don't want to wait that long. So follow up in part 3, okay? Thank you.